Welcome to my channel. Today I have a bonus filet crochet square to go along with our filet crochet calendar blanket. Can anybody guess what this might be? If you guessed birthday cake, you're right. I made mine in this variegated yarn, which I don't know how I feel about it because it's very busy and I feel like it takes away a little bit from the image. However, I did want this square to be separated from the other solid colors of our calendar blanket squares. If you are making this to go along with the calendar blanket that we're working, just make sure that you use the same type of yarn. If you're using cotton, use cotton. If you're using acrylic, use acrylic. Just make sure that you keep that relatively similar, same weight, same fiber, just so it plays well with the other squares. If you're interested in creating your own bonus square pattern, I am going to link the website where I create these graphs. It's called Stitch Fiddle, and you can create a blank graph and fill in all of the squares that you want for your blocks and leave the squares that open that you want for your spaces. All you need to remember is that you need 15 rows on the bottom and 20 rows tall. So a 15 by 20 graph, and create your own filet crochet pattern and turn it into a bonus square for your blankets. For this square, I am just using some of the Craft Smart variegated or self-striping kind of yarn. Nothing fancy. This is 100% acrylic. And as with all of the squares in our 2024 filet crochet blanket, I am using a 4.5mm crochet hook. To start, we're going to put a slip knot onto our hook, and we want to chain 48. So 48 total chains to start. Once you have your chain of 48, we're going to work back into the fourth chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work a double crochet and a double crochet into each chain. So at the end of this first row, and you can see the first row on the graph, it's all shaded in, which means they're all blocks, all double crochets. So a double crochet into each stitch all the way back down your chain. 15 blocks or 46 total double crochets, and that right there on the end was kind of our turning chain. That counts. And this last stitch here counts as a double crochet. So every row is going to start with a chain 3, and that counts as a double crochet. Turn. Row 2, we are now reading the graph left to right, and we're basically alternating between a block and a space. So it's block space, block space, block space, etc. all the way down. So our first block, we've got stitch number 1 of that first block. I'm going to double crochet into the next 3, and there's my first block. I need a space. I'm going to chain 2. This last double crochet that we did for this first block counts as the first stitch of our space. So I've already got my double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. I've got my space. I'm going to double crochet in the next 3. So now I've got block, space, block. I need a space, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and I'm just going to keep repeating the block space pattern ending with a block, which would be a double crochet in the last 3 stitches, including that turning chain. So you always want to make sure that you have 46 total stitches. Those chain 2s count because you're actually skipping 2 down here and you're making them up when you chain 2 over top of them. So count those chain 2s as stitches. So if you're ever confused, if you have the right number of stitches, it's always going to be 46. Your turning chains always count as a stitch as well. I'm on my last block, so I just worked that last space. I have 3 stitches left, those 2, and then of course the turning chain. I need a double crochet in each of those to finish up the block on the end. And so just working the top of that turning chain, and that is row 2. You can see we've got those blocks and spaces. For rows 3 and 4, it's all double crochet all the way across. I'm going to start by chaining 3. So this is row 3. We're reading right to left. Row 4 will be left to right, but they're all shaded in, they're all blocks, so it's all double crochet. So just repeat what I'm doing here for row 4. Chain 3 counts as a double crochet. I've got 3 double crochets from my previous block. I'm going to work a double crochet into those and into every stitch all the way across, including the 2 chains. So you don't want to work around in that space. You want to actually get into the stitches. So work a double crochet into the stitches as best as you can, or those 2 chains, just like that. And then just continue working a double crochet into every stitch all the way across, including that turning chain on the end. Do the same thing for row 4. You should always have 46 stitches at the end of each row. So I've worked row 3 and row 4. They're both just all double crochets all the way across. For row 5, we are going to start building that cake image into our fabric. So we want to start with a block and then a whole bunch of spaces, and then ending with a block. So we need 1 block, 13 spaces, and 1 block. So another fairly easy row here. We're going to chain 3, turn. We start with a block, so I need to work a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And now I'm going to work 13 spaces. So what you want to do is chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet in the next 13 times. So that was 1, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. That was 2, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. That's 3, and you're going to do that until you have 13 total spaces, and then you're going to end with a double crochet in the last 3, including that turning chain, and that is row 5. And I'm at my end, my last block. I'm going to work a double crochet into the last 3 stitches to create that end block, and that is row 5. For row 6, we're reading left to right. We're going to start with a chain 3 and turn, and a double crochet in those 3 stitches, those next 3. Now we need 5 spaces, 1 block, 1 space, 1 block, 5 spaces, and ending with 1 block. So those 5 spaces will be sitting over top of these 5 spaces from our previous row. So chain 2, skip those 2 chains, and double crochet into the top of that double crochet, which is the next stitch. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. You're going to do that for a total of 5. I think I've got 4 now, 1 more. Skip 2, double crochet in the next. And that is my 5 spaces. I need a block, so I'm going to work a double crochet into those 2 chains and that double crochet, so into the next 3 stitches. Now we need a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and now we're going to repeat what we just did here. We're going to work a block, 5 spaces, and ending with a block on the end here. So there's my block. I'm going to work 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that does match up. It's an easy way to tell by looking at the graph if your pattern is working out how it's supposed to. So I'm going to work a space in the next, over the next 5 spaces from our previous row, or a space 5 times. And then ending with 3 double crochets at the end of this row. So that is row 6. For row 7, we need 1 block, 2 spaces, 1 block, 7 spaces, 1 block, 2 spaces, and ending with 1 block. So always start with chain 3, turn. I'm going to work a double crochet in the first or the next 3 stitches to create my first block. Two spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And remember, row 7 we're reading right to left, all odd. We read right to left, all even, left to right. So I have a block and 2 spaces. I need to create a block, so I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Now I need 7 spaces, so I'm going to work my chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 7 times. I have my 7 spaces. I need 1 block, so I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Two spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and ending with a double crochet in those last 3 stitches. For row 8, we're going to chain 3, turn, and row 8 we're reading the graph left to right. So I need a block to start. I'm going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches. We need 4 spaces, so I'm going to do my chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times. 4 spaces. We need a block, so I'm going to work a double crochet into the 2 chains, the next 2 stitches, and into the next. So I've got my block here. We need 3 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 3 times. Now we need a block, so double crochet in the next 3. Four spaces, so your chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times. So you want to skip those 2. You're working a space on top of the block. And ending with a double crochet in the last 3 stitches. And that is row 8. For row 9, we have 1 block, 1 space, 1 block, 4 spaces, 1 block, 4 spaces, 1 block, 1 space, and ending with 1 block. Chain 3 to start and turn, a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. That chain 3 always counts as a double crochet. So there's our block on the end, working a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, working a block, a double crochet in the next 3, so I've got a block, space, block, 4 spaces, so we're doing our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times, 4 spaces. We need 1 block, so a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. Four spaces again, so your chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times. And we're ending with 1 block, 1 space, 1 block. So a double crochet in the next 3 for the block, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next for the space, and a double crochet in the last 3 stitches for the end block. And that is row 9. For row 10, we are going to be repeating row 8. So go back, rewatch row 8 if you're confused, or just look at the graph. I will have the graph obviously at the end of this video, so you can screenshot it, so you will always have it as a reference if you need it. So row 8 and row 10 are exactly the same. We're on row 10, so just repeat row 8. Row 11 is just like row 7, so repeat row 7 for row 11. And I will meet you back here to show you how to do row 12. We are now on row 12. Row 12 starts with a chain 3, turn. Row 12 is 2 blocks, 4 spaces, 1 block, 1 space, 1 block, 4 spaces, and 2 blocks at the end. So we start with 2 blocks. It's essentially a double crochet into the next 6 stitches. And that will give us our 2 blocks to start this row. So a double crochet in the next 6. There's our 2 blocks to start, 4 spaces. So we're going to work our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times. Four spaces. We need 1 block followed by 1 space. So I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 3. Followed by a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. 1 block. So a double crochet in the next 3. Four spaces, so we're going to do our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 4 times, and a double crochet in the next 6. And that is row 12. For row 13, 3 blocks, 9 spaces, and 3 blocks. So I'm going to chain 2, work a double crochet over the next 9, so there's my 3 blocks. I now need 9 spaces, and then we're going to end up with 3 blocks on the end. So I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 9 times, and then I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the last 9 stitches. Rows 14 and 15 are exactly the same, even though they're even and odd rows. So I'll show you row 14 and then just repeat that for row 15. Row 14 is 4 blocks, 1 space, 2 blocks, 1 space, 2 blocks, 1 space, ending with 4 blocks. So we need to chain 3, turn, and you want to work a double crochet into the next 12 stitches. So I've got all of my double crochets done to equal 4 blocks. We are now going to work 1 space, 2 blocks. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. Work a double crochet in the next 6 for 2 blocks. We need a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. 2 blocks, so a double crochet in the next 6. One space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and ending with 4 blocks, so a double crochet into the next 12 stitches. That was row 14. You're going to do the same thing for row 15, and then I will meet you back here in a second for row 16. Row 16. Now this is the only row in this graph pattern that you need to be careful that you're reading from left to right, because it's an even row. We want to read left to right. It's the only row that is not symmetrical, so it really does matter if you're reading it left to right or right to left. So we want to read left to right. We're going to be working 3 blocks, 1 space, 2 blocks, 1 space, 2 blocks, 1 space, ending with 5 blocks. So we're going to chain 3 and turn. We need a double crochet in the next 9. We're going to work a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. And there's our 3 blocks, 1 space. We need 2 blocks, so a double crochet in the next 6. 2 blocks. We need a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. 2 blocks, so a double crochet in the next 6. A space in the next, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. We should have 5 blocks left, so we need to double crochet in those last 15 stitches. Rows 17 and 18 are all double crochet, so we're going to chain 3, turn, and work a double crochet into every stitch all the way across. You should always have 46 total stitches for each row. So for rows 17 and 18, just work double crochets all the way across. I have worked my rows 17 and 18 all double crochet. For row 19, we are repeating row 2, which was that alternating block, space, block, space, block, space, all the way across. And for the final row, row 20, we are just working what we just did, a double crochet into each stitch all the way across. So again, row 19, repeat row 2, and for row 20, work a double crochet into each stitch all the way across, and then we will have our bonus birthday cake square. And here we are, the bonus birthday cake filet crochet square to add in to your filet crochet blanket if you wish. Now, I used the variegated yarn just to mix it up, make it a little special. However, I realize now that filet crochet is probably meant to be worked on maybe a solid color, only because you can't see your pattern as well because of the variegated busyness of that yarn. However, I don't care, I still like it. I hope you enjoyed this crochet tutorial. Be sure to check out my channel for a playlist of the other squares that I'll have throughout the year to go along with this filet crochet calendar blanket. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye!